afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on our Panorama from NTA Kaduna Network Center here. Security is a tool for socio-economic development of any nation. Hence, every government that wants to succeed must strive to ensure effective security of lives and property of the citizens. This and more will be the focus of our discussion today on Panorama, coming to you live from NTA Kaduna Network Center. The Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage had concluded negotiation with government and organized private sector, agreeing on the sum of 62,000 naira new national minimum wage, while the organized labor still stand on 250,000 naira. Recommendation of the committee will be presented to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for consideration and presentation to the National Assembly. Joseph Hossein reports.
After the leadership of the organized labor signed an agreement with representatives of the federal government to return to the negotiation table on new national minimum wage, negotiations resumed at the Tripartite Committee on New National Minimum Wage last Tuesday. Since then, it has been intense engagements lasting 6 to 8 hours at times, with parties breaking into clusters to dialogue on critical issues before reconvening back to the Committee of the Whole to make presentations.
The organized private sector and the federal government and the government have agreed on a figure, 62,000. The organized labor is still asking for 250,000. But at the end of the day, what is very important is that there is this conviviality. We are talking, is a discussion, and no hostility anymore.
The sum of 250,000 naira should be the what would be okay as the minimum wage. So we forward it to Mr. President, and Mr. President will make a recommendation to the National Assembly, and we'll keep pushing to ensure that we have a wage that is that stands the test of time.
And the recommendation today came as a result of deeper understanding and deeper studies of all the economic indices, the current inflation situation, the state of the economy, affordability, ability, capability, sustainability.
An inclusive democratic process with a smooth landing at the end.
This is a process where you bring your best argument, and the Labour have participated, and they have, of course, presented a different view, a different argument, and both views are going to Mr. President. But that is the beauty of this.
And then, having come to this end, I believe that we have to move forward. So I'm satisfied.
Now that the Tripartite Committee has completed its work and the President is expected to present an executive bill to the National Assembly, the ball is now in the court of the 10th Assembly, who can now reduce or make an increment on any of the figures. In Abuja, Joseph Hossein, NTA News.
Government has promised to initiate more developmental projects to meet the evolving needs of the country. The Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this at the inauguration of the Vice President's official residence awarded since 2010. State House correspondent Abrahman Jibilira reports.
An amazing masterpiece standing at the three-arm zone of Abuja. A breathtaking look from the exterior, and it's the official residence of the Vice President. 15 units of blocks of this befitting edifice awarded in 2010 at the cost of 7 billion naira and re-awarded in January this year at the cost of 21 billion naira. The event marked the series of inaugurations of completed projects unveiled by the FCT administration within a year, with commitment to prioritize infrastructure development as a cornerstone of the renewed hope agenda.
As the official residence of the Vice President, we are fulfilling a long-standing commitment and reaffirming our unwavering dedication to accountability, transparency, and the efficient utilization of resources for the betterment of our nation.
Environment affects productivity. environment affects efficiency. By the time you go in here and see what is provided, I'm sure Mr. Vice President will be more encouraged to do more work than where he stays now.
The accelerated infrastructure development drive, Vice President Kashim Shettima extolled the work ethics of the FCT administration, commending their hard work and commitment in delivering critical projects within a year. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says the 10th National Assembly remains resolute in consolidating Nigeria's democracy, where peace and justice will continue to reign. Senator Akpabio stated this during a visit to the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabi Ali reports.
Rendition of the national anthem with love and passion set the tone of the visit. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, recalls with interest the due processes followed by both chambers before adoption of the historic anthem. Akpabio reminded Nigerians of the independence era, citing brotherhood as key to national development.
If we kept to that national anthem, we probably would not have banditry today in Nigeria. Because if you take your neighbor as your brother, you will not want to kill your brother, would you? If you take your neighbor as your brother, you will not want to go into the farm to behead your brother. So in brotherhood, we stand. And it ended with a prayer. Oh God of creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed.
On the needs infrastructure, Senate President expressed satisfaction with the facilities put in place, saying Nigerians do not need to travel overseas for any legislative training.
I don't have any doubt that your leadership here is improving democracy in Nigeria.
What you are seeing here in terms of structure, in terms of facilities, in terms of the glamour, the kudos go back to you. You have been very supportive.
A publication of 25 years of unbroken democracy compiled by the Institute was presented to the President of the Senate. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabi Ali, NTA News.
Saudi Arabia says about 1.2 million pilgrims from across the world who are performing this year's Hajj will observe their rituals with ease and the highest level of care and attention. So the Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Tawfiq Arabia, at a press conference in Riyadh, stressed the need for the pilgrims to adhere to the regulations. Tope Alabi reports that NACON says Nigerian pilgrims are complying with the regulations.
Dhul Hijjah, the 12th month of Islamic lunar calendar, has just started, and it is the time for final Hajj rites, and Saudi Arabia has harnessed and mobilized all resources to ensure the success of this year's Hajj, including over 2,500 trainings for about 150,000 workers and leaders of pilgrim groups conducted in multiple languages. Saudi's Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Tawfiq Arabia, highlighted efforts made by the custodian of the holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, to ensure pilgrims perform their rituals with ease, while emphasizing the need for pilgrims to comply with Hajj regulations. We launched an international campaign to raise awareness about the dangers of violating Hajj regulations, fake campaigns, and electronic fraud practices. This campaign spans more than 20 countries globally. Meanwhile, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, says pilgrims are observing their rituals comfortably and orderly without violating Saudi regulations.
We have been doing our best, inshallah, and we are also getting cooperation from the Saudi authorities. And so far, we have also been getting cooperation with the pilgrims. So that is what makes our works very smooth and seamless.
Approximately 1.2 million pilgrims from various countries around the world are performing this year's Hajj, including about 65,000 Nigerians, in Saudi Arabia's long-standing commitment to serve the guests of Allah. Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
I will now go for a little break. Panorama continues in a moment. Don't go away. And you're welcome back. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tohi Lagbaja, has charged officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army to ensure the Army wins all land battles in the defense of the country's territorial integrity and the protection of its interests. The Chief of Army Staff was speaking at the graduation of the 43rd set of the Warrant Officers Academy in Jaji, Kaduna State. Haruna Muhammad reports.
As custodians of customs and tradition of the Nigerian Army from co-located units, including the Allied Forces and the Nigerian Air Force, having undergo rigorous training, they are graduating from the Warrant Officers Academy. For 22 weeks, they were trained in regimentation and unit administration, field craft, weapon handling, map reading, and tactics, as well as internal security operations. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Torid Lagbaja, in a message acknowledged the role of the warrant officers as a bridge between the soldiers and officers. He reaffirmed the Academy's successes so far, with the Allied Forces participating, while unveiling the book titled Monitoring Subordinates, written by Staff Sergeant Ishako Ibrahim, germane to the mentorship of soldiers.
Since the establishment of that academy, the impact is being felt in the field, whereby the officers may not necessarily come down to explaining in details to the soldiers certain things that their own colleagues or contemporaries can better do.
With what I have learned here, there are so many things that when I go back, I can impart into my military.
The Warrant Officers Academy, since its inception in the year 1995, have so far graduated 43 sets of graduates into a refined, courageous, disciplined, and professional force. From the Warrant Officers Academy, Jaji, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Still on security matters, recently, security agencies in Kaduna State have been recording successes in the fight against insecurity across the state. And the state government as well is providing the security agencies with additional resources, including mobility assets, to enhance their operational capabilities. Our correspondent has this report on some of the successes recorded.
Kaduna State has faced significant security challenges due to the activities of bandits and other criminal elements. However, recent efforts by the security agencies appear to be yielding positive results. Many of the notorious bandit kingpins have been neutralized, though it is still not over. Many local government areas in the state are still battling with the issues of insecurity. But with the combined effort of the security agencies, the residents are hoping that the security challenges will soon be history.
We are making some adjustments to ensure that Kaduna is secured, the Northwest is secured, Nigeria is secured. Because everybody is tired of what's going on. And for those individuals that have sworn that there will be no peace, they will have no peace. We will ensure that we follow them up wherever they are, and those ones that are sponsoring them and encouraging them to do the same. For their own good, they should stop.
That the armed forces are also trying their best. Other relevant security agencies are also trying their best. I want to also thank the community for the support they have been given to Kaduna State government.
The state government is playing a key role, supporting the security agencies with additional resources, including mobility assets such as these vehicles to enhance their operational capabilities.
Well, I'm with me in the studio to discuss some of these success stories with regards to the fight against insecurity in Kaduna State is the Supervising Commissioner of the State Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aron. Asai, you're welcome to our studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations for these success stories. Kaduna is one of the states that has faced these security challenges for quite a while. But recently, some of these troubled areas have been quiet. What is the security situation in Kaduna?
Well, first and foremost, it will interest you to know that we have continued or deepening engagement way of doing what we call participatory security management. Is a system where everybody is involved, because security is not all about the boots on the ground. It's not all about the military, the police, and other security agencies. You really need to involve people. People need to be part of it, and this is what we have been doing. It may also interest you to know that the Kaduna State Peace Commission has also deepened their engagement, working in areas of we have signs, of a possible problem. They swiftly move in to ensure that we're able to contain problem before it boomerang into violence. You are also aware, we've been to other flash where the military and other agencies that are working have equally stepped up their game. Abuja Road, the regional axis houses sector 4, Wild Punch. You will realize that they have the Kaduna Abuja corridor. The same thing from the southern Kaduna, that very area is under the supervision of Operation Safe Haven. You will agree with us that for a while the southern area.
Right, and from our Kaduna Net Center, we take up Panorama. Welcome to Abuja. My name is Frama Panyi. Now, residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, have heaved a sigh of relief following the inauguration of the Idie River Basin Erosion Control Drainage Project embarked upon by the federal government under the aegis of the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and Hyperdeck. The project was inaugurated by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, represented by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsef. Charles Abba reports.
The move to construct the Idie River Basin Erosion Control Drainage Project started around 2017 following perennial flooding and erosion that continue to ravage the community.
Before, it was watery. All over all those houses within. When it is rainy season, their houses used to be in water.
The water will pass our things and throw it away, and we walk inside. And we thank God for what they come and do here.
As they are commissioning this thing today, we are so grateful. We are appealing to them. We have to thank the director and whoever that is concerned.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, represented by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsef, said, the present administration is all-inclusive and committed to make life meaningful for the citizenry.
I urge the Commission to continue to liaise with the state government in the delivery of people-oriented projects, which I believe is a major task the present state government is addressing. We are confident that with our continued support and collaboration, we can achieve even greater milestones in our shared mission to address flood and erosion challenges.
I want to assure you that this section of the channel will also be addressed. We have directed the Directorate of Engineering to come up with the cost.
The 1.2-kilometer drainage project inaugurated is part of ecological interventions by Hyperdeck in its coverage areas. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited, NADCOMSAT, has pledged to support the Voice of Nigeria by providing seamless connectivity and satellite communication to enhance its broadcast operations. Managing Director NICOMSAT Jane Nkechi Egerton Idehen made the commitment when the Director General Voice of Nigeria, Jibrin Babandache, and his management team paid a visit at the agency's headquarters in Abuja. Chukunonso Mwaweze has details.
With the Voice of Nigeria making plans to expand its broadcasting languages beyond the existing 8 to now include Portuguese, Bahasa Indonesia, as well as the Chinese languages. The collaborative visit, the Director General Von Jibre Babandache said, is strategic towards ensuring an unhindered projection of positive narratives about Nigeria to the global community.
We have a lot to do together. You are in charge of the airspace and we are of the airwaves.
Yes.
So we are in it together. It is our country. We believe that now is the time for us as a nation to be very deliberate in creating believable, timely, and very truthful narrative about our country.
Managing Director of Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited expressed the willingness of NICOMSAT to partner with VON in actualizing the renewed hope agenda of the present administration.
NICOMSAT is about to enter a phase where we want to talk about what we should do next, which is the next satellite. But one of the big challenges that will be faced is miscommunication, misrepresentation, fake news if you want to call it. But we want to own the narrative and be ahead of the narrative. And I think that's why our partnership is so strategic.
DG Von offered a free time for a weekly program on policies and activities of NICOMSAT on its various platforms during the visit. Chukunonso Mwaweze, NTA News.
Now, an executive order for the relocation of some major markets has been issued by the Bauchi State government as part of measures to control the renewed urban planning policy in the state. Awal Abdullahi reports that the order affected other temporary business structures along major roads of Bauchi metropolis.
In various businesses along some major roads is no doubt affecting heavy flows of pedestrians and cause vehicular traffic. The recent demolition exercise on illegal business structures in the state capital of Bauchi is to ensure an improved security and socio-economic conditions in line with its urban renewal policy.
It is also important to let you know that there are heinous crimes and offenses that have been perpetrated and committed in those illegal structures. Example, drug peddling, prostitution and what have you. And some of the custodians of these illegal structures are in the know while some are not.
This does not only include the illegal structures along the road, it also includes some businesses such as the mechanics, the timber market and building material sellers, cattle market, vegetable market, and so many other businesses.
Issues that has to do with the environmental pollution, like the air and noise pollution, can also be regulated. There are areas where there are congestion, there are high chances of spread of diseases, and then traffic management and control are also very essential.
Alternatives were provided, according to the Commissioner, for relocation of the affected traders under the new urban policy, which is aimed at encouraging investments and economic growth. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
And in sports, Super Eagles failed to beat South Africa at home as they settled for a draw in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. This and more with Suleiman Musa. Today, thank you for being a part of it. Have a good day.